We say it all the time. Time is precious. We repeat it like a prayer. We nod when wise people remind us. But if we truly felt those words in our bones, would we still lose 3 hours to mindless scrolling? Would we still whisper to ourselves, "Tomorrow, I'll begin tomorrow"? Here is the truth that most of us quietly run from. Time is the only currency in existence that cannot be re-earned. Money lost can return. Opportunities missed can knock again. Even broken relationships can sometimes be rebuilt. But one moment, just one single moment, once it slips past you, it is sealed forever. Gone. Unreachable. And the cruelest part of all? We only truly understand this when there are very few moments left. This is a story about a father and his son. A father who had watched quietly, painfully, as his boy let day after day fall through his fingers like sand. And instead of giving yet another tired lecture, the father chose a different path. He handed his son an old watch and sent him into the market with a question. A question so strange that nobody, not a single person, could answer it with money. But the answer that boy eventually found changed the entire direction of his life. Stay with this story until the very end, because sometimes one story, heard at exactly the right moment, can unlock something inside you that years of advice and warnings never could. There was once a small town, the kind where mornings smell like wet soil and evening light falls gold on old walls. In this town lived a father and his son. The father was a simple man. He rose before sunrise. He ran a modest shop with honest hands, counted small earnings with gratitude, and returned home each evening, tired in body but settled in spirit. He asked for nothing extraordinary from life, only that each day be used well. His son was a different story entirely. The boy had no hunger for work, no direction, no urgency. He woke when the sun was already high. He drifted through streets with friends, leaned against walls near tea stalls, laughed easily, worried about nothing. Every time his father looked at him with concern, the boy had the same answer ready. Relax, there is still so much time. As if life had signed a contract agreeing to wait for him. The father tried the gentle approach first. Soft words, kind nudges, then firmer conversations, then warnings delivered with a raised voice. And finally, silence. Because the father had learned something that many parents learn through heartbreak. Words that enter through the ears rarely stay. Wisdom only takes root when the heart has been prepared to receive it. So he stopped talking, and he started thinking. Months passed. The boy continued his drifting, and something ached quietly inside the father. Not anger, not disappointment exactly, but a deep fear. The fear of watching someone waste the one thing that could never, under any circumstance, be returned to them. One evening, as the sky turned the color of ember and the room filled with the last warmth of daylight, the father walked to an old wooden cupboard in the corner of the room. He opened it carefully. Inside, wrapped in a piece of soft cloth, was a watch. Old, worn at the edges, but still running. Its hands moved steadily, silently, without pause, the way time itself moves, indifferent to whether we are watching or not. The next morning he called his son. The boy appeared slowly, eyes still heavy with sleep. The father placed the watch in his palm and said simply, "Take this to the market. Ask different people what price they would offer for it. Go to many shops. Listen carefully to every answer. Then come back." The boy looked at the watch, then at his father. It seemed like an odd task, but simple enough. He slipped the watch into his pocket and headed toward the market. The market was loud and alive. Vendors announcing prices, buses rattling past, the smell of spices and dust mixing in the air. The boy moved from stall to stall, holding out the old watch. A cloth merchant examined it and shrugged. 500, not more. A man selling groceries turned it over in his hands. 800 maybe. It's decent. Someone near the back of the lane glanced at it and offered 1,000. By afternoon, the boy returned home. "What did you find?" his father asked. "Nothing agreed," said the boy. "Someone said 500. Someone said 800. Someone said 1,000. The father nodded slowly. He said nothing more. The next morning, the father called his son again. Same watch, different instruction. Go back to the market, but this time, do not ask about the price of the watch. Ask people what they would pay for the time inside it. The boy blinked. The time inside it? Just go, ask, return. The boy walked back into the market, carrying a question he didn't even fully understand. At the first shop, he asked. The merchant stared at him and then burst into laughter. "Price of time? Has someone put nonsense in your head, boy?" At the next stall, a woman waved him off immediately. "Go home. Stop disturbing people with rubbish." One man shook his head with irritation. "You cannot price time. Move along." And so it continued. Laughter, dismissal, confusion, a few mocking looks. The boy's face burned. His steps slowed. He had never in recent memory felt this particular feeling, the sting of genuine shame, not because he had done something wrong, but because he was being confronted with something he had never once stopped to seriously think about. He was almost ready to turn around and go home empty-handed. Then he noticed it. A small shop pressed into the far corner of the market, easy to miss. A watch repair shop, narrow and dim, with dozens of timepieces covering every inch of the walls. Behind the counter sat an elderly man with white hair and calm, steady hands, bent over a broken clock, working in silence. The boy stepped inside. He asked his question one final time. "Can you tell me what price someone would pay for the time inside this watch?" The old man did not laugh. He set down his tools, looked up, and studied the boy's face the way someone reads something they find genuinely important. Then he spoke. "The watch. Yes, it has a price. One person says 500, another says 2,000, and both are just guessing at the value of metal and glass. But the time inside it, that is something else entirely. Son, you have walked in here carrying the most important question a person can ever ask, and the answer is this: time has no price, not in any currency, not in any metal, not in any wealth this world contains. A man can lose his entire fortune and rebuild it through years of effort. A farmer whose harvest fails can plant again next season. A house that burns can be reconstructed brick by brick. But tell me, if one single hour of your life passes, who in this world can sell it back to you? The boy said nothing. Not 1 second, the old man said quietly. That is why time is unlike anything else that exists. It costs you nothing, and yet nothing in the world can buy it. It is given freely, and it cannot be returned. The shop was still. Around them, dozens of clocks ticked on, softly, steadily, together. Here is what time carries: one difficult truth and one remarkable gift. The difficult truth is that it stops for no one. It moves at its own pace, on its own terms, whether you are sleeping or building, whether you are laughing or crying, whether you are ready or completely lost. The remarkable gift is that you still get to choose what you do with each piece of it. Every person alive, wealthy or struggling, young or near the end, receives the same portion each day. 24 hours, equal, without exception. What separates a life well lived from a life half wasted is never talent, never luck, never birth. It is simply this: the choice of how to spend those hours. Each word entered the boy differently than any word had ever entered him before. Not through his ears and straight out again, through something deeper. He stood very still for a long moment. Then he whispered, "I understand now." The old man handed the watch back and said, "Then do not stop at understanding. Change." The boy ran home. He sat across from his father and repeated everything, every word, in the exact order it was spoken, with an expression on his face his father had never seen before. Something lit from within. When he finished, the father rested his hand on the boy's shoulder. No lecture, no, "I told you so." The lesson had arrived somewhere that no lecture could have reached. From that day, the boy shifted. Not dramatically overnight, but steadily, like a plant turning toward light. He rose earlier. He helped without being asked. He spent his hours on things that built something, rather than things that consumed him. The change was quiet at first, then undeniable. He discovered that disciplined mornings created clarity, that honest effort produced something lectures never could: self-respect. The town stayed the same. The market stayed noisy. The clocks on every wall kept their same pace. But inside the boy, something had permanently rearranged itself. He had understood, finally, completely, that a meaningful life is not something that happens by accident or arrives with age. It is built deliberately, hour by someone who has learned to take those hours seriously. Most of us have been that boy at some point. I'll start next week. I'm still young, there's time. One more day won't matter. But those small delays quietly stack into habits, and those habits quietly shape a life, or quietly hollow one out. The dangerous thing about lost time is that it makes no sound when it leaves. It doesn't slam the door. It just disappears. You already know the truth this story is carrying. You've known it for a while, probably. The question is whether you're living it. You have the same 24 hours as everyone who has ever built something worth building. The difference was never more time. It was always the decision to respect the time already given. So, what is one thing you have been delaying? Name it. Start it today. Not perfectly, not completely. Just start. Because every hour you invest in the right direction today is quietly constructing the person you will stand as tomorrow. You cannot replace a single moment that has already passed, but every moment ahead of you is still yours to choose. Spend it like it matters, because it does. If this story moved something in you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a story that could change your life. Until next time, be patient, stay purposeful, and remember, your time is your life. Spend it wisely.